This is a video about how to know when God is calling you, when it's time, when God's trying to get your attention to, for example, myself, when I used to be on the roads, how, looking back now, how I can say the moment that I knew that, God's calling me. Well, at that time, I didn't know that's what it was. But looking back now, that's what it is. That's what it was. Was when you start, you just no longer feel like what you've been doing for years or what you've been known to be doing, it just doesn't resonate with you anymore. There's just a feeling inside you you just got this feeling that I don't want to do this anymore. Do you get it? And then circumstances around you, things start happening, to trying to sway you from still going to that place or still doing what you're doing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I said, with me, when I used to be on the roads, one day when I get time, I'll sit down and, proper film a long video. But just for the purpose of this short clip, what happened was, it was a transition. Do you get what I'm saying? And another thing I'm going to say as well is, we got to be careful with, just because certain people are not bringing up scriptures and they don't really know the whole Bible and things like that. We got to be careful of, putting down these people. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like myself, when I used to do what I used to do, it all started with, I'll start watching sermons while I was preparing to go out to trap. Do you get what I'm saying? I know it's weird when you actually think about it, but I was actually watching, for example, I was watching a well-known preacher, and I'll be processing, I'll be getting, the packages ready. It'll take me about an hour, 2 hours, and I was just listening. And before I knew it, that transitioned to I'll be driving and then I'll just be listening. Do you get what I'm saying? And then before I knew it, I started doing more listening, watching the sermons, listening to the sermons, and doing less of my old habits. And, as time went on, I just realized, I remember one day I was just sitting in the car and I was just thinking to myself, I don't do this anymore. This just doesn't resonate with me anymore. And certain things started happening, and I started reading the Bible as well. That helped as well. And, one little verse here, one little verse there. But if someone was to ask me at that point, the moment where, when I was listening to these sermons, when I was still doing what I was doing, if someone was to, pull me up at that point and ask me anything to do with the Bible, I didn't really know. Do you get what I'm saying? But it was God's way of showing me that, God was transitioning me, He was pruning me. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't just wake up the next day and just be like, yeah, this is it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's it's a stage, and a transition has to happen. And I just feel like the message for today is just, if you're still at that place where you feel like, you know what, this just doesn't resonate with me anymore. And, I feel like God is calling me, and I just wanted to, bring it to your attention that God is calling you. Do you get what I'm saying? He's got a better plan for you, and He just wants you to start making that transition. And then for the other people where you're watching someone like me, or you're listening to someone like me, and you feel like, these people ain't quoting the Bible all the time. These people ain't doing this. These people ain't, looking right. Don't put these people down. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there are some of your preachers and some of your teachers, some of them were in New Age. Some of them were, in witchcraft. Some of them were in, do you get what I'm saying? And God's brought them out of that. So it's everyone has its time. And you don't want to be the person that while someone's trying to make that transition, you're putting them down. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's like that saying in the Bible where God says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Like, you've got prophets, we have prophets and anointed people amongst us, and you just got to be very careful with who you try and discredit, who you try and put down while they're going through the transition period. They probably don't even know I didn't know that I was going through a transition period myself. But looking back at it now, I just see that God always had his hand on me. Do you get what I'm saying? He was allowing me to go through that process so that I can be able to speak and post this, and it might connect to someone who might be going through that path where, you know, they just, you know, they feel it within them, inside them, that this thing that I keep doing, I don't want to do it anymore. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's just the message I wanted to put out for today.